Okay guys, 2009 VW Beetle, 2.5 liter. We are changing the fuel pump and fuel filter. Here are the parts. Again, say this later on in the video, but get a good quality part if you plan on keeping the car. This is the VW brand. It's a German part made specifically for VW. If you want to scan that, paid $280 for this on carparts.com. And filter I got on Amazon, WK69.2. I think I paid like 20 bucks. Again, I'll show you later on what it looks like. This is just the box. I just want to show you the tools also that you'll need for this job. Not much, really. Ratchet, electric ratchet, make your job a little easier. This is a T30, and this is a 10 millimeter. So those two to get the connections off. You're going to need a flathead screwdriver, preferably a small one, because you're going to get that. This is to get the bracket off of the fuel filter, or to loosen it. A long one would be difficult, I believe, to use. So this was perfect. Mirror, just kind of, put down in the tank, kind of see what you're doing a little bit is helpful. And again, light, obviously, headlights. That's it, really. I mean, it's, don't be fooled. It's not an easy job. Getting those connections off and on is the hardest part. So, but it is possible. Again, this is about an intermediate to advanced job, but it can be done. And I'm very upset that no one has a good video on. So I had to post this to help you guys out, because it definitely will save you probably at least $600–700. Again, symptoms are your car is hesitating upon acceleration, it's stalling. You're getting the P07. I gotta get that code number. P0. Okay, P0171. Sorry guys. P0171. It's lean, so it means your engine's not getting enough fuel. If you're getting that code, it's either your filter or your pump. Again, my car has 100,000, but it's 15 years old. So again, my daughter's taking this down to school, so I'm like, I better just do both just to be on the safe side. But you can do what you want. You can try changing the filter, but then if you're still, getting lean, it's probably your pump. So, you take the chance. If you're tight on money, yeah, just go ahead and change out your filter. Again, this video shows both, how to do your filter and the pump. They're both inside the tank on this. They say it's the metal tank version of the car, which is weird, which I never would have figured out unless I actually opened it up first to take a look at the pump. But this is the in-tank pump, and you will see there's 3 different pumps for this year car, which is ridiculous. VW, gosh, seriously, freaking. Hey guys, okay, changing the fuel pump and fuel filter, which are both in the tank, on this 2009 VW Beetle 2.5 liter. Crazy thing, there's 3 different fuel pump sizes for this car, which makes no sense to me, but whatever. Anyway, I will show you all the details coming up, but just want to let you know, get things started. Just make sure you disconnect your battery here, positive cable. I put a shoe there, just, where is it? There we go. Just gonna get a 10 millimeter, loosen those bolts up, and stick something in there so it doesn't get metal on metal. Okay, so for this, which is kind of nice, VW has a nice easy access port for the filter to get into your tank. Everything else is a little odd compared to other cars, but you're just gonna pull down here on the seat, this black tab, or lift up and pull out, and this thing pops out, and then you're just gonna lift up. And right here has a nice little thing that comes up, and there is where your fuel pump is in your tank, gas tank. So we're gonna open this up. I think this is a T30. Yeah, T30 for this. Took those screws off. This thing pops off. Make sure you kind of get the orientation of it. And you're gonna find this little connector on top, which you're just gonna push in inside, pull out. That's what she said. Anyway, and then so you got the 10 millimeters right here. You'll notice I covered one up because I broke one last time I opened this. But luckily there's plenty of them on there. So if you do strip one, because they're super sensitive, guys, you can't tighten these very tight or it will strip, as you notice I've done. If you strip one, not a big deal. There's plenty there to keep it tight. So 10 millimeter, all right, and that top is going to come off. Do that right now. Okay, guys, got the nuts and bolts off. Let's open this up. Remember the just keep track. There's an arrow here pointing straight to this back hole, to the back of the car. Make sure you line that up properly when you put it back together. Okay, this thing comes off, and we should have. Ooh, here we go. Yeah, see the top's connected here. This is the in tank. They say this is for the metal tank, which I don't know how you know, because I thought mine was plastic just by looking and touching it. So I opened this up a couple weeks ago just to check to make sure, and good thing I did, because it's the one that goes inside the tank. I'll put the part numbers and everything so you guys know. But yeah, we're gonna see how to disconnect this in just a sec. Okay, guys, just looking at the orientation, make sure you see where it plugs in where. See that back? That's the back of the car there. You see how it goes out to the right and to the left. So that's that. There's another connector here, that green one. Okay, first of all, guys, we're gonna disconnect this that connects the lid here. You're just gonna push in on these two things here on both sides, and then it'll just pull right out. When you go back to put it together, make sure you line it up properly. The greens match up with greens, yellows. You'll see they do actually match up, so it makes it easy to know how to put which side to put this in on. Okay, important though, put it in right. Get that out of the way. Now we're going to disconnect these other three, and then for the actual fuel pump to come out, you just twist it to the left and pull up. Okay, and then, you know, when you install the new one, you're going to put it down and twist it to the right. So that's how it's staying in there. It's not bolted in or anything. It's just twisted in the bottom. All right. These, for what I'm aware of, you just push down on the tab that it's connected to and pull out. So hopefully we won't have an issue. I'll let you know how it goes. All right, guys. Got this out. I'll show you how. It took me a little while to figure this one here is the hardest. So this is basically how it's positioned in the tank if you're, you know, looking towards the back of the vehicle. Okay, your fuel filter, this is important, is going to be down there in the tank. It's going to be clamped in, which I still haven't gotten the fuel filter out, but I will show you that. This one, the connector is inside, comes from the vehicle and connects to this piece. This had the hardest time because there's no obvious tab to push on. So what I did, it seemed like a little soft on top, so I was just pushing as hard as I can. This was kind of hard to get off, and it did pop off. So it does come off, but just be careful. You're not going to pull super hard, because if you are, I mean, I probably had to pull medium strength to get that off. I mean, you don't want to damage anything. I've actually seen someone slit this off, cut this off, and put the new one on here, probably because they maybe couldn't get this off. So that might be your trouble point, but mine did come off, guys. So it is possible. You don't have to slice this and reinsert it. This one, a lot easier, guys. There's a tab on the side right here. You just push. You see that push right there, and it pops right off. This is going in the shorter end of the fuel filter. This is where this goes in. And then the green one, and this is going to be positioned probably like this, I believe, because this was on the bottom. The green one goes into the longer port. Okay, and this one also was pretty easy to get out. Has a tab. Has a tab there, that little plastic tab. You push and then you pull off. You have to pull a little bit, but it will come off. Okay, that's where I'm at now. To get this out, make sure you pull all the wiring, everything out first, and then pull this out because it is a tight fit. It barely comes out. So if you leave these in and try to pull it out, you're never gonna get it. Pull this stuff out, all the wiring, all this out first, and then pull out. And then it'll come out pretty easily after that. And now the fuel filter looks like there is a clamp. I believe it's probably a screwdriver flathead, I'm hoping. So I'm going to try first. And then I got to get this connection off here on this end. Looks like it's probably just another type of, you know, connector that was over here on these. So hopefully I don't run into any difficulty here. But anyway, so far so good. Not too much trouble. Like I said, this one was the hardest one to get off. The connector coming from the car onto this. You just have to push really hard on the, I push really hard on the top. So the very top, just push hard and pull off and it should pop off. All right. All right, guys, got the fuel filter out. Again, from the car, the connector is going into this end. Leave the clamp on tight while you pull this off. It makes it a lot easier. There is a small tab on the bottom on this one that you're going to push in and then just pulls right out. It took me a while to find it. Frustrating. And then you also have, it's laying like this in the car, okay? This is going to be on top, bottom, and then you have your ground down here, which that wire just hooks right in. Now on the new filter, this is a man filter. It just looks like that, right? So should be able to take this piece off and put it onto this. So, and then I'll take this rubber piece off and transfer it over as well. But yeah, came off okay. I just slid it through the clamp. I'm gonna slide this one back in and we'll go from there. Okay guys, of course they want to make this as difficult as possible. So that does not unscrew, it's actually just pressed on there. So you just get a screwdriver and pry it up from underneath and it'll come off. Okay, hopefully you won't break it. Thank goodness I didn't, which is a miracle. And then hopefully this will just fall right over here, please. Oh yay. Okay, well, how are we gonna get it to stay though? That's the problem. I'll figure something out. Actually, this might be a piece. I gotta figure if this is a piece on a piece. Hold on. Okay, guys, got the rubber piece back on here. What I did here, since there's no real way to connect this, I mean, maybe there's some type of metal piece you can put on the cap. I just didn't have anything. So what I did, I got a piece of metal, wrapped it around, tightened it so it doesn't budge. So this thing is not going to come off. So any way you can get this thing on here, do it. That's how I did it. Again, this is moving around a little bit, but that thing is on tight, so it's not coming off. So hey, whatever works, right? So I'm going to put this back in now. I'm going to connect, I don't know how I'm going to do this. If I should clamp it down first and then connect it, probably be easier. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the clamp, tighten it down. Again, it's a flathead screwdriver. I may have forgotten to mention that. Flathead screwdriver to get the clamp loosened. Thank goodness, right? Something simple finally. And it's going to lay like this. The top is going to be the smaller. That ground is going to be at the bottom. Okay. So this is how it's going to lay. And again, the green connector from the fuel pump goes into this, and then the other one goes in the top. Okay. And then this is the part coming from the car in. All right. All right, guys, got the filter in there. If you can see it, let's get some light down in there. There's the filter. See, clamps on. Clamp for some reason is hard to tighten and loosen up at times. It like seems to stick. It's kind of annoying. I spent like 20 minutes trying to get that thing tight, but it just, anyway. The other connector, you see it there, should just push on, just push it on tight, coming from the car on that side. Again, you got the ground at the bottom, you can see there. And now we have 2 open ports, which are going to be on the new pump. So remember, green coming out this side. This connects to the longer port, right, in the middle bottom part. And then in the top, this one plugs into the fuel filter shorter port on the top, okay? And then this one coming from the car, just coming from the driver's side, is the only port there, so it's easy. Should just push right on. Make sure you take off all the plugs. Yeah, everything open. Make sure everything's open, unplugged. Okay, electrical. Okay, we're gonna push this down in there. Just so you can see, I'm gonna put that first, and then this should drop right down, which looks like it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and push this down. I think we're good. Go ahead and connect everything. Actually, before I do that, I'm really annoyed with that clamp. I'm gonna try to get a little tighter. I mean, it's hooked on from both sides, so even if it's not super tight, you should be fine, because it's not, you know what I mean? It's not gonna fall out one side because they are connected on both sides of the clamp. So I think it's not a huge deal that it's not super tight, but it just annoys me. Like, what kind of clamp did they put on there? Seriously, it's freaking annoying. Dude, VW, you guys, I don't know, make things more complicated than it should be. All right, so I'm gonna get this in, get it connected, just so you, and then I'll show you mine connected. All right, bye. Okay guys, just wanna show you, got this in. It took me about a half an hour to get all the connections on tight. Just wanna make sure you push them on tight. Try pulling them off. If you can't pull them off, then it's probably tight enough. You don't wanna lose connection in there. And then, remember, get this thing on. It took me about 10 minutes to find the right spot, and then you're gonna turn to the right to lock it in place, which I finally got. You're gonna have this sticking out. You got your new thing here. Remember to match up the wires. Connect this, then connect this to the top. Get all the screws in, you're done. Before I screw everything down though, I am gonna start this up, put the lid on, start it up, make sure it works. So here we go. I'm just gonna go ahead and connect the wires back up, put this on just loose without tightening it down, put the battery on, start it up, and then I'll tighten everything down once I know it's working properly. All right, we'll be back. Okay guys, moment of truth. Here we go. See if this thing starts up. Hope the car doesn't blow up. This is always the scariest part for me. All right, here we go. Oh, all right. Car hasn't blown up. We got started engine. We're starting. Ah, check engine light even went off. So, forgot to tell you what triggered this whole thing. The car's an 09, 15 years old, right? It's old, but it's only got 101,000 miles, which is pretty low for that year. So, but it was getting the P0701, I believe. Oh shoot, I'll have to get the number. But it's basically lean, so it's not getting enough gas, getting enough fuel into the engine, which is usually either the fuel filter or the fuel pump. Because my daughter's taking this down to school, I want to, just to be on the safe side, to replace both the pump and the filter at the same time, because you're already in there, might as well, right? So it looks good, sounds good. I think we got some success here, guys. Thank goodness. Oh, check engine lights off. So success. What else can I tell you? Yeah. So also, the main symptoms for failing fuel pump or clogged fuel filter will be when your acceleration, if you're hesitating a little bit on acceleration, and also your car can maybe start to stall once in a while. Basically, what's happening is the fuel pump's not pumping that fuel into the engine. So if your engine's not getting fuel, you're gonna stall, you're gonna hesitate, you know, those are your main problems. So, or it's gonna throw a code like mine did. You know, this didn't really hesitate at all, didn't have that symptom, but it did throw that code, the lean code. And again, 100,000 fuel pumps usually will get you to a couple 100,000 if you're lucky. I would, on the safe side, replace it at about no later than 150,000. But again, you know, if you're gonna do the fuel filter and you got between 100 and 150, I'd probably replace the fuel pump as well. So, and also on the fuel pump, just get a good fuel pump. I got the VW, the Continental, which is supposed to be one of the top fuel pumps for this car. It's $280 is what I paid for it. So yeah, you can get a pump for 80 bucks on, you know, the A premiums or the, you know, and they might get you 2 or 3 years worth out of them. So, I mean, if you're going to get rid of the car, I would put probably a cheaper pump in, but if you plan on keeping it for, you know, 4 or 5 years or more, definitely put a quality pump in. I'm not sure how much mechanics charge for this job, probably a lot. I'd imagine at least $1,000 to replace this, to do this job, because it's not a simple job at all. I would say intermediate to advanced. Just getting your hands in there. Again, you wear gloves. If you have tall gloves that go up to your arms, I burnt my hands by getting gas on them. So hopefully it'll be all right. It kind of stopped burning, so it should be okay. But just keep changing your gloves out. You know, wash your hands. Once your hands start to burn, go wash them good, you know, then start back up again. Just keep them as clean as possible throughout the job, because you're going to get gas on them. Well, preferably do this job on an empty tank. I think I have, what, a quarter of a tank here, but I had to do it today, so it's the only day I could do it. But beautiful, this sounds great. Should be good to go, guys. Oh, I love when jobs go as planned. Beautiful. With no complications. Again, hardest part is going to be, you know, getting a couple of those lines off, and then that clamp. Okay. Oh, also I wanted to tell you, I did end up clamping that clamp on tight, and it's going to benefit you, because when you put the fuel lines in, you don't want it moving around. It's easier to put the fuel lines in when it's tight. So I was able to just you got to kind of wiggle it to tighten it, and it'll start up again. It's kind of weird. It's that clamp on there is, I don't know if it's okay, guys. As you saw, it started right up. It sounded great, no issues. You know, just now I can go ahead and put these bolts back on, make sure I'm not forgetting anything else. I think this just goes on, and then the cap. Yeah, so good to go, guys. Again, VW is good brand, $280. If you're gonna keep the car, definitely put a quality pump in so it doesn't fail on you after a couple years. But we're good to go. Works good. Again, job is intermediate to advanced. If you're a beginner, I don't know if I would tackle this job. You know, couple points that are tough, but I mean, hey, why not? Just don't, you know, you just got to be careful with all the electrical involved and the plugs, tearing things, you know, pulling things off. You just don't want to break any of those connections. That's the main thing. I mean, guys, like, that could be a disaster if you break a line, or, you know, rip one of those wires or cords, then you're really going to be screwed. So but yeah, you know, I've changed fuel pumps in my Infinities. It's much easier than this. This is definitely a more complicated job than probably most cars, I would imagine. So VW, I don't know what the deal is with this pump, but they do have the other pumps that are kind of like, you know, like normal pumps that just fall down right in. You just tighten them at the top. That's it. You know, but for some reason they want to make this complicated for you, so you could take it into the shop, I guess, and get it done, so you don't do it yourself, I guess, is what they want. Anyway, good to go, guys. Good luck out there. questions or comments, you know, that if you have stuff that's going to make this job easier, go ahead and put in the comments. That's what I like to do on some videos. You know, help each other out. Okay, again, there's no good video. I can't even believe it. Like, seriously, like, nobody can do this themselves. Like, come on, guys. I mean, it's hard, but it's not that bad. Like, come on. I'm still annoyed that there are no videos on this. Again, there were a couple that one guy like cut the wire. Like, I don't know what he was doing. Like, dude, these connections do come off. You just gotta pinch them off and they all come off. So you don't have to cut anything. No wires. Anyway, good luck, guys. Peace out.